I get a lot of questions from people that are asking really, they don't know what call to use, when to use it, or really even how to take care of them. So what I wanted to do today was take you through a few of our calls here and explain that. So we'll start with our box calls. We offer a few different box calls, but this one right here is what we're going to be using today for demonstration. This box call is a two-piece dugout, and really I like to use a box call for open fields, and even in the timber sometimes, but really more of a locator. The way you would use a box call, there's a few different ways you can use it. I've been taught to use it like this, to hold it like this, and you kind of keep the lid between your pointer finger and your middle finger. And you hear that sound as the lid rakes over the box. I'm not applying a lot of pressure there. It's just, and as it slides over the box, you get that back in. Now, take that and do it a little faster. Do 5 to 8 notes. Pretty good. To do a cut, it's kind of just a quick movement. What I've been explaining to it is a cutting sequence. Is kind of staccato, like it's just very pop, 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 just very random. And then you can do a cut into a yelp. That's an excited hen getting fired up. Now, as far as how to take care of a box call, obviously, we make all of these box calls. We've got one that we call the Tempest, and it's a waterproof box call. It's got chalk paint on here, and you'll never have to chalk it. But we do offer this one here that does take chalk, and if you get one of our ready kits, we've got chalk available, and all you do to chalk it is you take this piece of chalk and you just run it over the top of the box like this a few times. Just do it a few times, just enough to, you can see the coating on there. On the back side, do the same thing. And it's chalked. Ready to go. Next, we have our pot calls. And we've got a few different kinds of pot calls here. This one is the glass slipper. It's a glass top. And we've also got our old scratch. This is a slate top. The pot call consists of your pot with the surface and a striker. What also comes in our pot call kits is a scuff pad and some sandpaper. Now, you might ask yourself, why in the world do you need sandpaper? These are friction calls. Friction means you need to rough them up so that when you drag the striker across the surface, it's going to make a good sound. So, you'll take your glass slipper, take this piece of sandpaper, and rough it up. And I like to go in one direction. All right. Now we take our striker and you hold it like a pencil, okay? And what I like to do, I like to hold a pot call about like this. Let me get that pinky out, but I'll hold a pot call like this just really so the sound can come out of the holes back here. You take the striker like a pencil. You apply a little pressure, kind of at a I'm going to call that about a 45-degree angle on the pot. And we're going to start with a purr. The purr is the easiest one to do. And it's basically an upside down J, or a candy cane maybe. Just like that. And we're just dragging it across the surface. They're doing this when they're feeding, when they're content, up in the tree, just happy. The turkeys are happy. Now we're gonna go into a quiet cluck. They're doing this when they're feeding, content, happy to be around. You can do it anywhere on the pot. So you got your purr and your cluck. Next thing you got is the yelp. Basically, you're gonna start at the edge of the pot, like I said. The reason we start at the edge of the pot is because that produces the front end of the yelp, the higher pitched side. See it's higher pitch on the edges. And if you go towards the center, see? Now we're going to take that, we're going to do little ovals. Little ovals. That's a yelp. Pretty awesome. So that is our glass slipper, glass top pot. The same also applies for this old scratch. It's a slate call. I'm going to take our Brillo pad here. We're going to do the same thing. Just scuff it up. Now the slate, I like to use that for early mornings, real quiet calling. I'm not really trying to get loud on it like I would with the glass slipper, but our old scratch is real nice and quiet. It's got a lot more rasp to it. Quiet clucks, tree yelp. Purring. Yelps. You can produce all the same calls. One thing I'll tell you about these pot calls that may come in handy for you is that every pot call kind of has a sweet spot. And you really have to play with it in every direction until you find out where that sweet spot is. See, just found it right there. I like how that sounds right there. That works. Pot calls, they're pretty awesome. All right, moving on. Now we've got our mouth calls. And mouth calls for me, I like to use those when they get within 100 yards, where I don't have a whole lot of room to move. That's where the mouth call comes in. And the way that mouth calls work is you've got a frame with 2 to 3 layers of latex, and then you've got tape that's around the edge. And the tape is there to hold off a seal for your air channel so that you don't have any air leakage. And if you look really closely, the very top reed is usually cut. And that cut you want facing the roof of your mouth. And you want the horseshoe facing out. And I'm gonna put that call just, if this is my tongue, I'm gonna put that call just at the top of front of my tongue. I'm gonna put it right at the front of my tongue, facing outwards, and almost against my teeth. The thing about a mouth call is that you can practice anytime. You got to ride to work, you got to ride to turkey camp. You may drive your wife crazy, but hey, you get your turkey call practicing in. So check out the mouth calls. All right guys, these are all our calls. We've got a lot more on our website. Go to struttcommander.com to purchase. Also, you can get them at Bass Pro, Academy, Cabela's, Fleet Farm. You can get them everywhere. We're available. If you want to get notified when we've got new videos out, hit our notification tab. If you want to leave a comment, highly suggest that, drop that down below. And also, please, please, please subscribe and give us a thumbs up on these videos. Let us know what you want to hear from us next time. Anyway, y'all have a good spring.